Caught my wife of 13 years cheating with a coworker. Plus update. Original post. Just here to get straight to the point. My wife and I have been married since we were 25. We are 38 now. We met in college, got married, and everything has been great. We both graduated, got good jobs, started our lives together. Me and my wife make really good money, so money has never been an issue for us. My wife worked for her dad's small business while I worked for a very large company. After a few years, my boss left the company out of nowhere and they needed someone to take over. The only person who knew how to run the department was me, so I got a major pay jump. Better bonus, better benefits, the works. So at 28, I was probably making 3 times plus more than my wife. At 28, the same year, my wife gave birth to our first daughter. Then 2 years later, our second. My wife, due to working for her father, was able to be more diverse in working. Well, around 5 years ago, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. That left my mother-in-law and wife in a hard position. Sell the company or run it themselves. My mother-in-law had no clue how to run it. So my wife said that she would do it. After my wife took over the company, it did just as well as when her father ran it. With that being said, my wife got a huge pay increase, more than me. I was proud of her. Going from a basic worker to running a whole company isn't easy. Anyway, our daughters started suffering from not seeing their parents. Me and my wife discussed one of us staying home. She said the company you work for will be fine without you. Mine could go under. I agreed, so I quit my job and became a stay-at-home dad and husband. I do everything. I make sure the girls are taken care of. I cook, clean, fix things, make sure errands are run. You name it. I pamper my wife when she gets home from work. This went well for a while until about a year ago. My wife was always very appreciative of what I did and loved it. She has become very mean lately, like saying things like, "Do you do anything?" or "How about you work for real?" What? I work my ass off every day making sure that you don't have to lift a finger when you get home at all. Also, I had a real job, but I had to quit to raise and take care of the girls, our home, and you. Not to mention, my wife is very sexual. Always has been. She quit initiating sex, and when I asked, she is never in the mood. That was very odd. Eventually, I quit trying. I just thought with all the pandemic crap and everything else, she was just very stressed and it was getting to her. I started trying harder to make her happy. Nothing ever worked. Last weekend, my oldest had a softball game, so I get everything ready and we go. During the game, I wanted to take a video for mom and dad since they live in another state and don't get to see my daughters that often. I forgot my phone, so I asked my wife if I could use hers. She had been attached to it all day, so it would be good for her to get off of it. Anyway, she hands it to me and says she's going to get a drink and a snack. She gets up, I video my daughter when a message comes up on some app. I check and I can't even fathom what I see. My wife and this guy from her work, who is 8 years younger, are sexting and sending videos and pics, talking about how great the sex was, and then me. He is saying how I am some wimp who can't get a real job taking care of his women, and my wife agrees with him. I couldn't believe the shit that I saw. I was so devastated and angry all at the same time. I heard my wife coming back, so I closed the app and started videoing. On the ride home, when we get home, my wife tries to talk to me and I am not in the mood. Eventually, we lay in bed, and for the first time I guess they hadn't met in a while, tried to have sex. I tell her I'm not in the mood. She says, "If you're going to be a bitch about everything, you can sleep on the couch." I got up and went to the couch, and now I've been here ever since. I don't know how to move forward with this. I really just don't know where to start. My wife was my everything. My girls are my world, and all that is dying. Any advice would be wonderful, as I really fucking need it. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. This is heartbreaking. Your wife cheated on you, which is already hard to get over, but she has become very mean lately, saying things like, "Do you do anything?" or "How about you work for real?" What? I work my ass off every day making sure you don't have to lift a finger when you get home at all. And talking about how great the sex was, and then me? He is saying how I am some wimp who can't get a real job taking care of his women, and my wife agrees with him? Your wife doesn't respect you as a partner, doesn't respect you as a father to her children, and doesn't respect you as a person. You've both made the decision that you get to be a stay-at-home dad, and now she is punishing you for it. Act normal. In the meantime, document everything, get a PI maybe, contact a lawyer and prepare for divorce. Claim custody of the kids. She is never home, so that should be easy. And when all is in order, confront her and ask her to sign the papers and tell her to fuck off to her AP. Now watch her break the Guinness Book of World Records of backpedaling in a single session. This one's easy. Next time you have her phone, screenshot the proof and send it to yourself. Maybe under the excuse of sending yourself the video. Get the meanest lawyer you can find to divorce her, take half of her business and savings, and sue for child support and alimony. Since you're a stay-at-home parent, you're more likely to get full custody than she is. You gave up everything for her and she threw it in your face. I'd go scorched earth. I know people often say leaving isn't that easy. I did it. Now I'm on the other side. I can wholeheartedly say it was the best decision of my life. Actually, don't take her business. She is doing well and it will ensure he is paid decent alimony and child support, but go for everything else. Leaving the business also makes OP seem reasonable, like he'd like to leave the family business intact for the kids, etc. Now for the updates. Update 1. Hey everyone, I want to thank you all for the advice that you all gave. First off, I do have the text, pic, videos, and everything. Second, I don't have any part of the company. It is 50-50 between her and my mother-in-law. Third, I can't sleep in the bed. I've been sleeping in the guest room every night, and that is where I will be staying. To answer, I have decided to divorce her. Anyway, this morning I called a firm in another town to avoid anyone finding out. Thankfully, they were able to get me in this morning as someone had to cancel. After dropping off my girls, I drove over there. To make a long story short, he is a very good lawyer. I showed him what I had. He said that luckily for me, with the evidence that I have, she will be pretty much screwed in the divorce. Seeing as I quit my job to raise her girls, she is never home. She is having an affair, prioritizes this man over me and my girls. She will lose very easily. He basically said, we will get child support, alimony, I will keep the house, and she will have to pay for it as long as my girls live there. Also, he stated that we could even try for more money since I am considered no longer viable in the working world, to help me pay for more education to get a job. Some of you were right. He said to not work until after the divorce is over. He said, since you are the husband, you have a job, you can lose a lot of this. He asked if I wanted full custody. I said that I don't mind my wife seeing her girls on the weekends every once in a while, but I would want mostly full custody. He says since she had the affair in the marital home, I can basically do what I want. Since he stated bringing over a strange man over to the house put the girls in danger and makes her guilty. So I will be going for full custody where she can get weekends once, maybe twice a month. No man will be allowed around my girls, and if there are, she could face problems by me if I find out. I just don't want that POS around my girls. He eventually said to keep quiet until the draft was ready, and then he will issue someone to serve her and have it issued that she is required to leave the home. He said he should have it done sometime next week. He asked me just to keep quiet. He said that I know that it's hard and you're upset, but just shut the hell up until everything is done. Once the divorce is over, you can say whatever the hell you want about her, but until then, keep your mouth shut. He said act as normal. He said no fights, no issues, sleep in separate bed, and no sex. I said no problem, but why? He said just trust me, just don't do it and do as I say. I just got home and have started getting ready for dinner and acting and being normal. I will be acting as if everything is okay until she is served next week, as I can only make 2 updates. Yes, I actually read the rules on here. Any more will be on my page if anyone cares. Thank you all for the advice and some very harsh words. And to the one guy who asked for my wife's nudes, just no. It seems all you have to do is ask her and she will send them, so it shouldn't be that hard. Quick update. He recommended I get an STD test, plus a DNA test on my girls. When I asked why, he said it is pretty rare incidences like this, that's the first time that this has happened. So yeah, that fucking hurt to hear and scared the hell out of me. Update 2. Hey everyone, I just want to thank you all who sent me good messages over this period. I've been feeling down and things have been rough. To preface, I have talked to my lawyer about this post. I didn't go into much detail. They did tell me enough as long as I keep them brief and not super specific that I can repost, but I just have to be careful about what I put on and not to lead in too many details, and that's that. So for a quick update, like I said, we'll be brief and not too specific for legal reasons. I will start with the test. I was able to get an STD on myself and a paternity test on my girls. I came out that I thankfully have no diseases and I am clear. Since I've been pretty much sexless from her for the last year, I wasn't all that surprised. Now for the one that I'm sure most of you are wondering, the test on my 2 girls. Am I the dad? I will always be their dad regardless of the results. However, I'm here to say that yes, I am their biological father. I have never been so happy to know that I am their dad. Never thought I would have to question it, but here we are. As for what has happened with my soon-to-be ex, well, she is out of the house and I have been granted full temporary custody. In the future, maybe a while, I will go into more specific details. However, for now, she is out of the house. My lawyer set up everything for me to get my girls and to make sure that we legally handled her being removed from the home. It wasn't pretty. But details for another time. She was served at work and from what I know, it wasn't pretty. Like I said though, details for another time. My girls know what is going on. My oldest knows we are separating and one of her friend's parents split for the same reason. She has seen what happened with her friend and doesn't want us to split. She has been crying for me to let mommy come home. I will be getting them in with a child therapist to explain and help them understand from direction of my lawyer. My youngest just wants mommy to come home and misses her. It kills me and makes me feel like I'm a terrible father, and they probably hate me now. Sometimes I think I should just let their mother cheat on me to keep the family unit to make my girls happy. I just can't do that. Sometimes I think about talking about allowing an open relationship and we can just wait until the girls are older, but that won't work for me. Plus, I know the girls will pick up on it and will not like it that mommy and daddy don't love each other. As for my ex, she is living with her mother at this point. My mother-in-law has called me and asked to meet. I agreed and we will be meeting at some point. She didn't ask for details as she said we will talk later, but begged me to not take her granddaughters away from her. I said, you are a great and loving grandmother, and as long as you can separate my girls from what's going on between your daughter and I see no issue with you being able to see them, and I will not take them out of your life. She thanked me, and that is it. My ex has been trying to call me and text me, trying to figure out us. Under direction of my lawyer, he has had it set up that I can talk to her through a trackable method, and it is purely about the girls. No more, no less. So that is it for now. We'll probably keep updating, and once this is all over, I will make one big update for all the details I have to be careful about as of now. Update 3. So first off, I had Thanksgiving with my soon-to-be ex and mother-in-law. I did this purely for the girls and made sure with my lawyer that this was only about the girls and not about reconciliation. That was taken care of. First, I have met with my mother-in-law pre-Thanksgiving. We met and had a pretty mutual discussion, mainly just things about how we will handle my daughters afterwards. My mother-in-law did tell me some stuff about my soon-to-be ex. I guess my soon-to-be ex was cheated on by her husband before. Didn't even know she dated anyone. I guess this guy came from one of those families, according to my mother-in-law, and they told her to avoid him. Well, I guess one night she caught him with his head under another girl's dress and tongue deep in the girl's jewelry box. Why my mother-in-law couldn't believe she would do this. She had a couple of boyfriends they met in college, but she knew that they wouldn't last. She said that as soon as she met me, she found her son-in-law. Says she is sorry for her daughter's actions and will make sure that she doesn't try to do anything problematic with the divorce. Anyway, a couple of days before Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law asked for me to come over for dinner with the girls. I said, will she be there? She said yes. I said I can't be there with her. She said that she understands, but asked if we could put on the holiday one more time for the girls. She said, I know you have a lawyer, ask them, and if they said it's a bad idea, I get it. I did. And they said, tell your wife via the app, this is purely for the girls to avoid any confusion. So I did. And she contacted me before about coming over. She has been begging me to see me and the girls. The girls have been begging me to see their mom. I swallowed my pride for my girls and went. It was awkward. My soon-to-be ex gave her daughters a hug, fine, then tried to hug and kiss me. I just avoided her and went to give my mother-in-law a hug. My soon-to-be ex tried to act like husband and wife and was trying to talk to me. I answered with yeses and nos and helped my mother-in-law finish dinner and clean up. My mother-in-law is religious and wanted to do a prayer, and my soon-to-be ex sat next to me. I held my daughter's hand. My wife tried to grab mine. I pulled away. I know it may seem petty, but I don't want her touching me. I'm an atheist, but out of respect for my mother-in-law, I go along with it. Dinner was fine. Again, soon-to-be ex trying to act like we are going to be married and asking about Christmas and vacations. I guess she wants to take with us as a family. When she mentioned this stuff, I knew going over was a mistake. We finished dinner and I was pretty much got up, cleaned my daughters, and I had dishes then and I was ready to go. My daughters wanted to watch a movie with their mother. We would always watch. I let them, and my soon-to-be ex tried to cuddle next to me on the couch. I sat in the chair after that. My mother-in-law was very mad at my soon-to-be ex the whole night for how she acted. I could tell by the looks she gave her. Movie ended and we started to leave. My daughters fell asleep, so I carried them to the car. Went in to grab something, and my soon-to-be ex grabbed me in tears, begging to work on things, that she wants to be a family and is so sorry for what had happened. Before I could say anything, my mother-in-law grabbed her by the hair, not joking, yanked her, told me goodnight, and began yelling at her daughter. So yeah, told my lawyer everything and said nothing indicated reconciliation, and you made that clear in your messages. You were fine. Wife once again calling and begging now to work on us. She gets left on read. I only talk about the girls, and I'm sure they are going to want to do the same for Christmas. I don't know if I can or if it's okay. Once again, I will discuss with my lawyer. Update 4. Basically, my girls had 2 sessions this week with their therapist. The first one was good. My girls came out what seemed to be more at peace and calmer than usual. I talked to the therapist afterwards, and she seemed to be very good and understands my girls well. So I took them to their second one, and shit is completely effed. Basically, the therapist explained in age-appropriate terms that the reason me and their mother is separating, that their mother cheated, had an affair, and betrayed me. I knew eventually she would, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. I went to get my girls, and basically it was a burst of tears and them climbing all over me and giving me hugs, crying, saying that they loved me. I am happy they love me, but this is not what I wanted to happen with my girls. I asked the therapist why did she tell them. She said the girls knew you two were separating, and the girls noticed you seemed to be really mean and unloving with their mother. Your girls aren't stupid. She told me they know how you are and they know how you treat their mom. They wanted to know why you were separating. I tried to walk around it the best I could. She said that the girls are not going to progress in therapy if we don't tell them. I am not going to go into detail on exactly what she said to them, but it was age appropriate. But they know the age appropriate version of their mother being unfaithful. I think my oldest could maybe handle this and be okay, but not my youngest. So we got home and my girls won't let go of me. They are literally crying the whole night. So I order in food, I put in their favorite movies in my bedroom, and we laid there all night. They fell asleep and I went to the bathroom and just cried. My soon-to-be ex doesn't even realize the pain she is causing her girls. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. The therapist told me we could try medication for a bit until they get used to the new normal. I refused to do so, which she supported and said it was just an option, as I am not drugging them. Disclaimer, she cannot give the drug. She said that they would need to see their primary and they would probably diagnose my girls with something that would allow them to medicate them. I would rather deal with my daughter's emotions the healthy way. I won't have to worry about Christmas as my daughters hate their mother now. How I know? My oldest said this and never wants to see her mom again. My youngest follows what her older sister says, even though she may actually agree. I was shocked. I said, they don't hate her. You may be mad, but you don't hate her. She loves and cares about you. My oldest just said no, she doesn't, and then she just cried in my arms until she fell asleep, and so did my youngest. This is my life now. Now for the last update. Update 5. I am sure it sounds like a really bad sequel, but I wanted to be clear about what this update is about. Just clear up real fast though. The girls are doing better. They are still going to the same therapist, but they are doing better. Kind of coming to the realization. My daughters say that they don't hate their mother anymore. However, they have made it clear that they don't want to see her for a long time. Their words, not mine. We will see how that goes. My wife has been made aware of them knowing. She tried calling my girls. They answered, but my wife has since been more respectful of mine and my girls' boundaries. I think the realization is starting to hit her. Anyway, to the affair partner. Already know he was a POS, but hell, this man is awful. So someone asked if there was an OBS. I didn't know. I started looking through some stuff for my wife's work, and I was able to find a piece of paper with all the employees' numbers and emergency contacts. I called his. It was his wife. It turns out he is married. I didn't think he was. Also, he has a toddler. Well, I told his wife and she didn't believe me and hung up. A little later, she calls me back and asks to meet. I meet her. I show her everything. She asked if we could go to my car. We do. Within a second of closing the door, she bursts into tears, crying, saying, "How could he do this to me? What did I do wrong, etc." Well, I said you did nothing wrong and gave her my lawyer's number. After that, she asked how long. I said, I think a year, maybe a tad longer. She then goes from upset to fucking pissed. I asked her why. She proceeded to rip her hair off. It was a wig. Tell me she just beat cancer. I guess after their child was born, they found some stuff odd while she was in the hospital. They found a tumor. So after the last year and a half, she had 2 surgeries, has gone through chemo and was on medication. She looked very good, so I was surprised. She said that she beat cancer and she is doing better, but they haven't had sex in like 2 years. She said between my pregnancy and cancer, I couldn't. She got really sick while pregnant. Then her cancer just about killed her. Once she started feeling a bit better, she felt horrible in herself. She started gaining weight from the meds, lost her hair, and wasn't as pretty as she used to be. She said I was now at the point where she could have sex and was going to surprise him here, so for being a caring and loving husband. That is off the table. She started crying about her child growing up in a broken home, and I consoled her. She then tried to have sex with me. I said, no, you're not in the right state of mind and this is not healthy. She thanked me for my honesty, then proceeded to ask for the evidence. I gave it to her and she went home. We have texted a couple of times since we are both BS, so we will keep in contact. So thank you for the few people who have mentioned looking for the OBS. I didn't even think about it. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.